But we begin tonight with a crisis that is impossible to ignore. Now, I often start this show with the most recent assault on American democracy at the hands of the modern Republican Party or the Supreme Court. Well, tonight, I want to talk to you about a different type of existential threat. We all know it's hot. Some of you in Arizona spent the day trying to avoid 115-day heat. And next week, it might hit 120. Earlier this week, I shared some really terrifying news. Some scientists believe that July 4th of this year may have been one of the hottest days on Earth in 125,000 years. Guess what? We keep breaking those records. The Earth's average temperature set a new unofficial record on Thursday, the third such milestone in a week that already was rated as the hottest on record. The Earth's planetary average surpassed the 62.9-degree mark. Now, mind you, half the globe is in their winter season right now. And until Monday, no day had passed a 62.6-degree average in the 44 years since such records have been kept. These mind-blowing facts, because climate change isn't an opinion, are largely due to a dangerous combination of surging temperatures and the return of El Nino. But that is not all. The oceans are warmer, and sea ice levels in Antarctica are dropping to an unparalleled level. Here are some recent examples of what's happening. Beijing's temperature hit 104 degrees, putting the city on track for one of its most severe heat waves on record. Last week, a scorching heat wave in two of India's most populous states overwhelmed hospitals and filled a morgue to capacity. In Spain, temperatures have exceeded 110 degrees. 100 people died in Mexico because of their heat wave. And here in the United States, more than 20 million Americans were under heat alerts. In the Midwest, a place many assume is a climate haven because of its location and water resources, they are suffering through a near-record drought, crisping fields across the Corn Belt. In Texas, temperatures have reached 120 degrees and caused at least a dozen deaths, including a postal worker and a utility worker. They died days before Governor Greg Abbott signed a sweeping new law eliminating mandated water breaks for certain laborers, including construction workers. The law doesn't go into effect until September 1st. But for those having to work outside, Abbott's law is grotesque. Here's what one welder told NPR.
You know, you can't just tell a construction worker that's working in 100-degree heat, the heat index being 112, 15, that they can't stop and take water. That's cruel and unusual punishment, I believe.
We've also seen unprecedented wildfires burn through Canada, sending bands of choking smoke down to the United States. The director of Europe's Climate Change Service told The Washington Post, "We have never seen anything like this before. We are in uncharted territory." But as Vox points out, none of this is surprising. It is what scientists have been warning us about for decades. And they say that it will only get worse. One of those experts is Chris Gloninger, who was the chief meteorologist for the CBS affiliate in Des Moines, Iowa. Gloninger has spent nearly 2 decades warning his viewers that the extreme weather incidents that we were experiencing were linked to the climate crisis.
If you look at the summer that we've seen so far as our planet continues to warm, the third warmest just released today, the third warmest summer on record, and that is a data set of 128 years.
Here's why it is important to be stewards of the earth. We have now reached our 529th consecutive month with temperatures globally above that 20th century average. We have some low 90s, too, in the mix, and also poor air quality because of those fires. Again, as the planet warms, a lot of these fires are gaining steam and seeing explosive growth because of the warming planet.
He recently told NPR News that it remains the existential crisis of our lifetime. But not everybody wants to hear that. Yesterday, he ended his career as a TV meteorologist, citing in part a string of death threats from one person and the resulting PTSD. The viewer sent him a series of hostile emails telling him to stop spreading a, quote, liberal conspiracy theory, which is nothing but a, quote, Biden hoax. Gloninger will now focus entirely on finding ways to help communities to deal with the climate crisis. And joining me now is Chris Gloninger. After leaving television, he joined the Woods Hole Group as senior scientist. Also joining me is Jeff Goodell, contributing writer for Rolling Stone and author of the new book, The heat will kill you first. Life and death on a scorched planet. A very apropos title for today. Mr. Loniger, I do want to start with you because it seems pretty frightening that our favorite person usually in local news, I used to work in local news, and everybody's favorite person was always the weatherman. The meteorologist was always like the most popular person. Maybe the sports guys were like a close second. I want you to just walk us through what was happening. I mean, you're telling the truth. It's your job. It's your expertise, and you're getting death threats. Please explain.
Joy, thanks for having me. You know, I started this journey back in Boston at NBC, where I started the country's first weekly series on climate change, and it kind of gained some steam. I got picked up by a couple of news directors who wanted to have me bring that message out to the Midwest, where we are at the mercy of Mother Nature, right? 11% of the GDP in Iowa is agriculture. We produce 64% wind power. That is what powers our grid, true renewable energy. But yet, the second I started mentioning it, the pushback started to stream in. Very different from Boston. But at that point, I was preaching to the choir. Here it was kind of going into the lion's den. And, you know, it escalated to a point where I received a death threat. And the gentleman pled guilty and received a whopping $150 fine. But after 2016, that was the tipping point where people felt like that they were entitled to just unleash hate. And that is exactly what we saw as journalists and as scientists.
And had you had pushback before? Because, I mean, I grew up out west, and there are certain parts of the country where there is this sort of weird duality where people, they care about nature, right? Because they care about being able to hunt. They want nature to remain pristine for the things they like to do outside. But there also is this resistance to the idea that what used to be called global warming, which I think was maybe not a term that worked so well, but climate change, the climate crisis is real. Is that, did you get pushback before from people who just were like, I don't like you talking about climate crisis?
Sure. I mean, you get the typical responses. The climate's always been changing, and you kind of have to laugh at those responses. But even in Boston, I did this documentary for NBC Boston, where I looked at environmental justice communities and the impact that the climate crisis was having on Black and brown communities. And I received pushback even in Boston, right? And that was almost like taking two hot topics, fusing them together. And I expected it. I welcomed it, right? But here it was much more dialed down. And we were talking about data. All I was doing was providing those trends. And he used that clip in just before introducing me, where we were talking about how many more 90-degree days we're seeing, how much wind power we're generating, how many homes can that power. This was exciting stuff and not really overly controversial. And you know, what started as just kind of like ebbing and flowing, the criticism, again, reached that peak last June. And it ended up in a year of therapy, trying to work through some of these emotions. We work wild hours from 3 to 11. My wife is home alone. Those thoughts weigh in the back of your mind. So. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I totally get it. Jeff Goodell, thank you for being here. Your book is titled The Heat Will Kill You First. I mean, the heat is killing people. There are people who are literally dying while their governor is saying you have to work outside without a water break. But let me just show a little data. And so this is surface air temperatures. And it's scary when you just look at it as a graph where you see it just spike and spike and spike up from 1979 to 2000. There's another graph here that talks about a side-by-side of the coverage of sea ice in the northern hemisphere, and you can just sort of visually see it change over time. This is data. It's science. Why do you think there is such an emotional resistance to believing that the climate crisis is real?
That's a very good question. I think that, you know, the problem is the climate crisis affects everything, right? And people don't want to think that, you know, their actions, what they're doing, can have this kind of a profound impact on the world we live in. You know, people, deniers often cite, oh, it's just a small percentage of CO2 in the atmosphere. How could that possibly have such an impact? You know, this is some kind of conspiracy with, you know, Bill Gates or whoever else is, you know, and we're all profiting off this. And this is some kind of, you know, kind of scam that everybody is running. And, you know, it connects with the anti-vax stuff and a lot of other things in this sort of partisan, you know, warfare right now. But, you know, what we're seeing now in real time is this is playing out, and it's playing out faster than even the most kind of supposedly alarmist climate scientists were talking about a decade ago.